Are you thinking about motorizing your kayak? Well, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a little bit better of understanding of what it takes to get a motor onto your kayak. Welcome to Kayak 101. What's up everyone? Jose, Content Marketing Manager for KastKing, and welcome to Kayak 101, where we're gonna talk about bringing a bare bones kayak and turning it into the ultimate fishing machine. And I know a lot of you may be against or for the motorization of kayaks. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit on why I decided to motorize my kayak. For one, when you're out on the water for hours, I'm talking about 4 to 8 to 10 hours, it's tough, especially at the end of the day, to get back to the boat ramp or wherever you parked or wherever you launched your kayak. And especially if you're a river fisherman, like I do a lot of river fishing also, if I'm going way fishing way up the river, I mean, it's a long trek to get back. But it's also a little bit more difficult than just saying, hey, this is the motor I want, let's slap it on. Now, the two motors that I'm gonna feature today in this video are just two complete opposite ends of the spectrum. One's very light, but it's not as powerful, and the other one is an absolute dog, a monster, an absolute beast. I'm not going to talk about necessarily a DIY because that is always an option also and can be potentially a lot cheaper if you went the DIY route of buying your own trolling motor, making your own mount, getting your own battery. I just want to talk about what some of the more popular options are out there and things that you have to consider when looking for a motor for your kayak. So of course, when thinking about your motorizing your kayak, you have to look at budget. If you want to keep it under $1,000, then yeah, you'll probably have to go the DIY route. Now, the options that I have are well over $1,000, with one of them being well over $2,000. So yeah, it can get real pricey real quick when you start adding motors, batteries, chargers, this and that to your kayak. You also have to look at your kayak itself and what you plan on using it for. See, I have a Crescent Shoalie, and the Crescent Shoalie is about 77 pounds without anything on it. So it's a relatively on the lighter end of fishing kayaks, with kayaks now being like 100 pounds, 120 pounds with nothing on it. That's no gear, nothing. That's really heavy. So obviously, certain motors aren't gonna be well suited for a gigantic, heavy kayak. You also have to look at the weight capacity for your kayak. The kayak that I utilize has a 450 pound working weight capacity. Me, myself, I'm already 215 pounds. So that's right off the top, that's almost half of its weight capacity already off. So the first kayak I want to talk about today is the Newport NK300. Ugh. This thing is an absolute beast, an absolute monster. So if you see guys out there that have these huge kayaks like the XTR 130 or the Tactical Pro or the Hobie PA14s, they probably are running an NK300. This is an equivalent of 3 horsepower. Now the thing with this, it's about 1440, I think 1439 is the base price, but that's just for the motor. And so you also have to get a 36 volt battery and a 36 volt charger. I think it's the lowest price Newport battery is like $659, and then another $250 for the charger. That's, you know, quite a bit of money. That's why you're going to be well over, you're probably going to be around the range of $2,400 plus, you know, some heavy installation is going to be required to get. I shouldn't say heavy, but more than your typical just plug and play installation. But this thing is an absolute dog. I'm talking about it'll get you going, depending on your rig, up to 7 miles an hour. This thing scoots, and it's also heavy though. So with this, along with the motor, 36 volt motor, you're looking at adding an additional 40 pounds to your kayak. So this is for definitely the guys with the bigger rigs that are going to be going out and really have some big water to cover and need to get out there fast. Here's another popular option. This is the Bixby K1. Now this is a much smaller system here. It's only equivalent of about 1 horsepower, but also the battery and the motor itself will only 10 pounds. Yeah, 10 pounds. Now, the only downside to this is that it has its own battery, and you have to use the battery, a Bixby battery, for this motor to work, versus with the Newport, you don't have to use a proprietary battery. You can get any 36 volt out there that's from a quality brand, and you can run that Newport. So you have to look at the pluses and minuses, the advantages. Now, this Bear system is about $1,500, but after I got the power pole mounting adapter and a few other adapters and everything, I'm looking at around $1,700. So there's about a $500 to $600 difference. Now, this is only going to get me at a max around three miles an hour. So I'm going to go twice as fast with the Newport versus this. But like I said, it's ease, it's light, it's quick to get on, and it comes with everything you need besides obviously your mounting adapters. So it really just depends on what you want to accomplish. You know, again, if you have a huge rig and you get this on it, you may not be happy with the speed and everything that's going to be going on with this. And if you're just using this for just mild stuff up at the river or small city lakes, a lot of fishing that I do, then yeah, this is just fine for me. The Newport, of course, yeah, that's a freaking dog, bro. Like that is a beast of a rig, but it's going to take a specialized rig to get it on. I wanted to quickly touch on one thing. When I see this, and I did this. This was a mistake that I made the first time I went out and motorized my last kayak. I had the battery, I had everything on the back to include all my fishing gear, all of my tackle, all of it. So think about that. It's going like this. That's not efficient. That's not fast. And I was trying to think, that's why I was only going about 2 miles an hour. Underpowered, not balanced at all. So just overall, just a horrible configuration. So I hope you like today's, and hopefully this can narrow things down when you're focused on putting a motor onto your kayak. There's a lot of things to consider. There's budget, and there's obviously the purpose of putting on a motor and your kayak itself. So hopefully this helped you. If it did, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. And if there's anything else you'd like for me to cover in this video, well, hey, let me know down in the comments. I'm Jose, and thanks for watching.